hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year, and that you had a good break and are ready to get going with 2023. It was nice to have a wee break myself, and just need to get back into it now. So there's still a few episodes to show you on the Black Golf to get you caught up, so I hope you enjoy this episode. Finally, I think it's ready for paint. It's all masked off and it should be good to go. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick walk around to let you see what it's looking like just now. Then I'm going to give the garage a clean and then go in and get changed out of these dusty clothes, and then we should be pretty much good to go. So all masked off. You can see the back bumper is looking a bit streaky there. I've given it a wipe down with panel white, but I'll give it another go, and also I'm going to use tack cloth on it as well. So what I'm trying to do here, which I haven't tried before, but my friend that has a body shop's been doing it quite a lot recently, so I thought, hey, I may as well have a go. And that's just using this foam tape to try and kind of lose the blend into this little edge here. Probably shouldn't really be attempting to blend this because I didn't get the colour matched. I just got the factory colour code paint. Often what I would do is take a wing mirror along and get them to put the camera on it, the spectrum analyzer, to try and get a good colour match. But even with that, it's still hard to get a match from panel to panel. You usually still need to blend it, let alone trying to blend a section like this on a 31-year-old car. So it might not go awesomely, but as I said before, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to paint it all anyway, and what we're shooting for is to get it looking better than it was, and I'm sure that we'll be able to do that. So there it is, looking just now, ready to go. I just used 500 grit along here, and my plan is to try and kind of blend along there. And when I'm putting the clear coat on, what I'll do is I'll peel back the foam tape and just use a little bit of blending thinners. I've never tried that before, so it might not work, but we'll give it a go. And here what I've done is I've done 500, sanded it with 500 up to here, and then what I'm going to do is just basically paint up to there, and if there's any overspray on here, what I'll do is I'll rub that off. But I find that in the limited number of paint jobs that I've done, I find it's better just to leave it like that rather than to mask it, because then you get a hard edge. So basically I'm gonna just try and flick the paint up there a little bit, cover there, sand off any excess, and then what I'm planning to do is to sand this with less coarse grit, and then again up here. And then what I'm going to do is when I'm doing the clear coat, I'm going to clear coat obviously right up that, and then towards the top I'm just going to use a little bit of blending thinners, and it probably won't work, but we'll give it a go just to see. I have done a blend on a panel as small as that before, and it did come out really well, but I had just painted the whole car, so that definitely makes a difference. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to start waffling, and I'm going to tidy up this garage, going to get changed, get all my painting doodads on, and then we will have a go and see if we could make it look a little bit better than it did. Okay, so back out and just about ready to paint. Had a bit of messing about. Tried putting this new oil trap on the gun just to try and stop any oil or water getting through the airline into the paint. Had a bit of a problem with silicone spots last time, which was the first time. Also got a brand new airline with new fittings. I think probably the problem was that I use air tools that you need to put oil into, and obviously some of it could get into the airline, so it's pretty obvious when you think about it. It's not really the best idea to paint with the same airline. So excuse me, Also, I was trying to think of a way to keep the airline off the floor, and so I got these brackets and I've just kind of mounted them all around, and hopefully that'll help, because it's always a pain when you're trying to basically have the airline where you want it, and you know, they kind of get coiled up and things like that. It's not really ideal, so you just kind of want to have it exactly where you want it to be and not tug in or anything like that. So hopefully that should help. We will see. Okay guys, I think we're ready to go. I've got my fetching spacesuit on, and the gun, if you can see, is all loaded up. I've panel wiped the panels that we're painting, and I've just tack clothed them as well. So, and I've wet the floor. So hopefully we're good to go. I'm gonna leave it recording so you'll be able to see hopefully me painting the back bumper, but I really want to be messing around with trying to move the camera while I'm doing the side, so hopefully you're happy with just seeing that. If not, it's alright. Hey guys, so it's the next day. I've walked into the garage, but I literally have not looked at the paintwork yet, so you're seeing this at the same time as me. So if it looks terrible, then full transparency, I wasn't hiding anything. Let's have a look. I know there's at least one run in it, because when I was putting the blending thinners on, maybe a bit too much. So you'll see there's a run there, and there was other runs kind of starting. Luckily I kind of managed to catch them. You can see there's some imperfections in the paint, which is standard even if you are painting it in a body shop. It doesn't actually look that good when you've just painted it, even, I was going to say, unless you're a master painter in really good circumstances, they can do awesome jobs off the gun. The body shops I've seen don't really tend to do that. They look kind of like this until they've been sanded and polished. So I'm really happy with that. It's a bit peely on the top here. I did strongly consider giving it another coat, but I decided against it purely because I already had a run in the other side, and it would have been really frustrating if I basically caused runs elsewhere. So I decided that there's plenty of lacquer on there, so I'll just sand it and polish it, and it should come up fine. The reason that it's a bit peely there is because of the angle that I was holding the spray gun at. It's funny, I was watching a video last night, another YouTube channel on car refurbishments, and I noticed that they were kind of holding the gun at an angle like that as they were spraying along there. So that was a good tip for me, something that I'll do in future. It's just knocking pipes over. So what I'm going to do now is take off the plastic cover. Gonna leave this for a little bit longer. It's probably actually about 12 hours since I've done it, but I'm gonna leave it for a little bit longer because it's good just to make sure it's hardened before we sand and polish it. Although you don't want it to get too hard. It's another run there, I forgot about that one. You don't want to get too hard, because then it makes it more difficult to sand and polish it. It takes a lot more time and effort. So I'll take the cover off the car, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start polishing it, because obviously this is mega kind of bright, and this is obviously really dull because it's not had a proper polish for a while. I'm not going to do a full job on it like I normally would, because as I've said, I'm going to paint this whole car. But what I'm going to do is just give it a quick polish, and that should hopefully even out the difference between, you know, the freshly painted parts and the rest of it. I'm going to use one product for the rest of the car, and then I'm going to use the proper cutting compound to polish this up, which is what I used on that back panel, if you remember, the one that I thought was rusty, but it turned out it was just some sort of gunk on the paint. So anyway, I'll stop waffling on, and I'm going to uncover this, and then I will start a video a little bit showing you polishing it, and then I'll just time lapse it because it's not going to be that exciting, and I'm sure there's lots of videos online about polishing cars. Okay guys, we're ready to start polishing. So first thing I'm going to do is just grab a little bit of masking tape, just to mask off the water jets on the bonnet. Particularly older cars, it seems like the plastic really absorbs polish and it's kind of hard to get it off. So it's usually worth just giving it a quick little wrap in and masking tape just to save yourself some hassle down the line. Alright, so I decided to put it on the other bits as well, which makes sense. Always good to put the masking tape on before you put your gloves on because it's more difficult. So I'll try to remember that next time. I'm not going to clay bar this or anything. If it was another car that I wasn't painting, then I would, but I wasn't even going to polish it, and then I kind of thought about it and thought it's going to look kind of stupid with a back bumper that's really shiny and part of the rear quarter. So all I'm going to do is give it a quick panel wipe just to try and take some of the contaminants off the surface. Also, I would normally use the cotton polish that I'm going to use on the bits that I've painted for all of it because it is really easy to get swirls on black paint, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just really going for speed here because I'm in a time crunch again as usual. So here we go. I should say if I wasn't going to paint it, I would make the time to do it properly, but because I am, there is really not too much point. It's definitely worth doing. Just using the other side of it now to give it a quick wipe over. Just need to get my ear defenders as well as having the noisiest DA in the world. I've also got the noisiest polisher in the world, so just need to stick them on. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just clean off the buff head. And I just grab a sanding disc to do that. Reason for doing that is reason for doing that is it just ends up all over the car otherwise, so it's good to start with a clean head. I'll start over at the other side because that'll probably be easier to see. The cloth for rubbing it off. So I'm just giving it one pass. If I was polishing this and not painting it, I would probably give it at least a couple of passes or use different products. So starting off with a harder cut and then polish and then wax. But obviously this is just a quick tidy up. So I don't know how well you can see, but that's the bit that's not been done. That's the bit that has been done. Hopefully you'll be able to see better. It's a shame that you can only see the light in that panel because that's a really good way of seeing. Oh, maybe you can see down here a little bit. Yeah, it's a good way of seeing. So yeah, it's definitely come up shinier. Oh, you can see quite well from there. So I'm just going to time lapse this and crack on with polishing it, and I'll let you see what it looks like as soon as I'm done. Okay guys, so I've polished this so far, the bonnet wing, front bumper, that door, wing mirror. Just need to do these bits up here actually. So I'm gonna just sand and polish this as well, the area that was painted. But just to let you see obviously you can see the colour difference, so you'll see it better once this has been sanded and polished because obviously it's all kind of peely just now. So basically what I'll do is I'll just finish polishing off that little bit up there, and then what I'm going to do is start sanding this, and I will film a little bit of it before I put it on time lapse just so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll take it from there.